I'm deploying you. You need help, just call us. But this is exactly, you have to go figure it out. It was like just running a startup, like how we do today.
Right.
Then went on. So that was a great exercise. That is the time I realized. And I was talking to a lot of folks that time because I didn't know how that is. And I was talking to different folks. And, Andrew Gastike is the person, MicroAcquire, founder of MicroAcquire, is pretty famous in LinkedIn though. So I was hitting up all the LinkedIn influencers or anybody who's sold companies just to understand how it works. And they were okay to take calls with me. And I was telling, hey, I'm not going to sell. I'm just trying to understand. They've thrown me this problem. I don't know how to solve. And everybody gave it different advices. So Andrew Gastike is the person, he gave me this advice. He said, like, he said, keep your ears close to the ground.
Okay.
Where the customers are. Done. I said, that is the only thing he told. We are like 1 hour call. This is the only thing I take out of the call. It was like, he was just listening to me. Like, oh, he's typical founder's problem he's also facing. And so he gave me this. And then after that, what I did is, for the next 1 year from then, I had around 135 plus calls, VP of sales, VP of marketing, director of sales, director of marketing. Only these roles I was having call. I didn't have calls with anybody else. Because I was trying to build a product for outbound sales teams. That is the goal we had in the previous company. So, okay, then I had calls, this 135. I was trying to put them. So these were raw data. I was just logging all the raw data one after the other. Then all the data together, try to make sense of this data. And able to, this exercise was very good because I had a sheet full of data, 100,000 plus and different data points. There were like 12, 13 different data points for each one.
Wow.
And trying to I calculated into 3 or 4 different buckets and said, hey, this is a startup company. Because this was a director of sales, the company size is this, the revenue is this. I was able to classify. And hindsight sounds so simple, but it was not.
It's not.
So then I was able to 4 different buckets, and the 4 different buckets are the features. And we put what are the requirement of the features, then put a pricing for those features. And that is how 4 different pricing plan was born. So we started this and we said, okay, there are 4 buckets. And as a startup, when you're starting a feature, you have thousands of features to build. Every customer you talk, they'll say a different feature. But after bucketing, it was so clear that I have to prioritize only these things. So we had first bucket go one by one. When somebody says, hey, this comes, this is the roadmap. And it was so convincing for everybody. If somebody comes and asks, right, where at the time, like when you're not successful, you say, hey, this is the priority we have to go after, because these are it's you don't have enough data until you have data to back like some decisions, right? These are not obvious logical decisions. You have to collect enough data to make decisions obvious. And if it is obvious, you can convince anybody. So I had this data that was enough for me to back up, and no matter even how hard people come and push me back on authority or power or in the industry expertise also, I was able to back it with data. They were like, yeah. So they were like absolute clarity. Okay, he's doing it right. And that is how I got the first one that time. And we built the product, we're building. And then that is when, during that time in the previous company, our ticket size of the previous, so whatever saying of the product is one side.